everyone, this is Left Jab. We did it. We passed chapter 1000 and we are on to chapter 1001 of One Piece. This chapter was amazing. It was incredible, especially after that huge monumental chapter that we had a couple weeks ago, chapter 1000, the legendary chapter 1000. It was amazing, and what could make it better but chapter 1001 being just as good, maybe even better. Now this is One Piece chapter 1001 titled The Decisive Battle of Monsters on Onigashima. And I think there's some other titles that it could be. I think it could just be The Decisive Battle on Onigashima, but we'll have to wait till the official to see what the actual title is. But for right now I have The Decisive Battle of Monsters on Onigashima. And I wanted to just real quick talk about the cover page because it is a request from someone requesting Jinbei taking a nap on jellyfish. And I really love this, not only because Jinbei is just like relaxing on the jellyfish, but the background is really cool because he shaded it in really dark, so it's all black. So it's pretty much all black with the image actually being white. And it's just a really cool aesthetic. I like the way it looks. And if they ever color that page, I think it's gonna look really cool with just a bunch of vibrant colors in the darkness of black. Now last week, we left off with Luffy giving Kaido a huge punch called Red Rocks. Kaido mentions to Luffy that even after he beat him, he's still declaring he's going to be king of the pirates. And it shows Kaido getting up from the attack saying, "That attack, it damaged me." And then we have 4 panels side by side that are really cool of each supernova reacting to what Luffy just did. We have Zoro wondering if that's the haki that he learned from the old man in Wano. Then we have Eustace saying, "What was that? What was that haki just now? I can't believe a punch actually damaged Kaido." And I think that is very interesting because it kind of shows that Kid isn't quite on Luffy's level because he's not aware of these different types of haki. And maybe he is close to Luffy's strength, but haki-wise, he still has stuff to learn. And it's cool to see that alongside Luffy and some of these other young characters that we see, Eustace Kid and Killer and Law are learning about this type of haki as well, the same time Luffy is. We also see Killer saying, "This battle is not lost after all," which I do think is a little interesting because he's kind of putting his hope on Luffy a little bit, but you would think that he would think that him and Kid can take them if they had to. And then the last little panel is Law saying, "I'm not going to let it slide this time," which at first you're a little bit confused about it, but later on it reveals why he said that. And then it has this great panel of Kaido still trying to get up with Big Mom screaming at Luffy saying, "Does a brat like you even understand what it means to be the Pirate King?" And then it shows Kaido looking at Luffy menacing, saying, "What happened after I crushed him in Curry? There are only a handful of people that can fight me." And this is amazing. I love this part because it shows Luffy standing there super regal in his whole outfit with his coat looking like the Pirate King already, with legends behind him. And that's what Kaido is envisioning behind him. He's looking at Luffy and then all these people behind him who can damage him like that. And it's really cool because those people are Odin, Whitebeard, Roger, Rocks, and Shanks. And I love that he included Shanks because out of all the emperors, Shanks is the only one that's up there. Obviously Big Mom's next to him. I think Big Mom can possibly do that to him as well, but maybe he's not saying that because they're in an alliance right now. I'm not sure. But I love that Shanks is included in this. Also, I love that Odin's included in this. I think Odin is so underrated, and I think people think of him as weak because he let Kaido trick him, or I guess it wasn't Kaido, it was the old woman who tricked him. But I think people think of Odin really weak, but when he went out with Roger and Whitebeard, he gained a soft heart towards people, and they kind of taught him that, and that's exactly what Luffy does to people as well. He softens their hearts and allows them to have feelings and emotions for other people, and I could actually see Luffy possibly doing this in the future with some pretty serious villains. Maybe a Kainu, which would be crazy because it's the person who killed his own brother, or maybe even Blackbeard, the person who tied up and handed in his brother. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but it's kind of a cool idea to think about it. But with Luffy standing there with that backdrop of amazing legends behind him, Kaido also says, "Are you implying that you are just as great as they are?" Kaido then blitzes Luffy with a Thunder Bagua, and Luffy uses Future Sight just in the nick of time to dodge it a little bit, but he still gets hit, and you can tell that there's some blood coming from Luffy after he got hit by that Thunder Bagua, but he did manage to dodge it and use Future Sight, but Kaido is just that fast that it still hit him. So I think Luffy's speed is going to come into play pretty soon. Maybe he'll use Snake Man in the near future just to be really quick and fast. We'll have to see what he decides to do. Kaido seems kind of happy because he's saying that this is good, you're putting up a decent fight this time around. And we know that Kaido has been dying to fight someone who's able to take him on. Now this next scene is awesome. I love when these other members of the Supernova come into play. And we see Big Mom coming right after Luffy with Prometheus, but then Zoro comes out saying, "Foxfire style, fire flame slice," and he slices Prometheus in half. And that is so awesome because just moments later, Luffy says, "That's Kinemon's attack," and then Zoro claims, "It's mine now." So I love that because Zoro's learning from other people he sees. He's learning these attacks, and we'll have to just wait and see what other attacks Zoro has learned from other people. Maybe he'll use other people's attacks. But Luffy was too busy paying attention to Zoro slicing Prometheus that he doesn't notice Kaido coming in for a swing right at Luffy. Zoro screams at him and tells him not to let his guard down, and Kaido mentions that he needs to not forget that they are up against two emperors. Law then comes in clutch and shambles Luffy away right next to him, and then starts yelling at Luffy saying he already planned to move Kinemon and the others downstairs and that he's not trying to take his orders. And then Luffy, obviously really simple-minded, says, "Why does that even matter?" Which I think is kind of funny because Law cares about how people sees him next to Luffy, and Luffy's like, "Who cares how you look? It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter." And then we start to see the genius of the Supernova Trio. We start to see them bickering and competing with each other, and Kid gives Law a hard time saying that he thought he finally became Straw Hat's lackey, which I think is hilarious. Law gets mad, and then Kid even mentions that it doesn't really matter if a scrub joins another, which he's calling Luffy and Law both scrubs. And it's kind of just a fun rivalry jab at them. It's really good to see. Big Mom then sends an attack from Prometheus called Heavenly Fireballs, sending 3 fireballs straight at the Supernova. Luffy then challenges them, makes it into a game, and says the first person to touch the fireballs is a scrub. Law, being the smartest one there, yells, "Like hell, I'd agree to that, you idiot." And then it's hilarious because then Kid comes out and says, "Suggesting a pointless game at a time like this is exactly why you fools will never become big shots." And the best part is Luffy standing there saying, "Fair enough, guess you two are scrubs then," which we never really get to see Luffy talk this much trash, and I love to see the trash talk that Luffy starts saying to the other Supernova. Then we get an awesome image of Luffy, Kid, and Law all flinching from the fire, trying not to touch it, and they have that same face that Robin, Frankie, Zoro, and Usopp all had when they realized that Luffy was in prison. It's just a really funny image, and it shows that they're all kind of being childish and wanting to compete with each other and be rivals. But obviously it makes Zoro mad, and he says, "What the hell are you guys doing?" Kaido then tells Big Mom to stand back and that he wants to see how strong they are. And then Zoro tells Killer not to get in his way, and he called him Kamazo the Manslayer because he remembers the laugh. And I love this because Zoro and Killer start to compete, and then they start talking trash to each other as well. Killer mentions that if he had his Punishers, which are his blades that he usually wields, that Zoro would have lost. And I love Zoro's quick clap back where he says, "It'd have ended the same way regardless." And then it goes on to show Zoro use 3-sword style, Rengoku Onigiri, right at Kaido, and at the same time Killer uses his attack, Decapitation Claw. I think they both get a piece of Kaido, but nothing too clear to damage him that badly, and Zoro even realizes that he needs to release more of Enma's power, and I'm guessing that's more of Enma's haki. After the Supernova Trio are done with dealing with Big Mom's flames, it shows them all charred, with Luffy saying, "I'll settle this fight in an instant," and coughing from the smoke that came from the fire that burnt them. We see Kid use Punk Rotten, Luffy use Gear Forth, and Law use Room. And then we see Kaido telling them to bring it on. So we already know Luffy's Gear 4th and he uses Kongon, but then we also see Kid, and he said he uses Punk Rotten, but he's in this huge mecha like robot type of thing with all the metal he collected. And the name of Kid's attack is called Punk Vice. And then we see Law use Tact, which is basically just a bunch of rocks being dropped on Kaido. So pretty much from what I got is just a whole bunch of brute strength attacks aimed right at Kaido. Kaido then emerges from the rubble in full dragon form. And then Kaido says to them, it's a shame to have them all killed. And this next part is kind of menacing because it could either be the beginning of the end, because Kaido and Big Mom are about to attack the 5 Supernova together, and either the 5 Supernova can make it through this fight or they defeat one of them or both. I have no idea what's going to happen, but this next line that Kaido says is pretty menacing, and he says, but it can't be helped. Once you're dead, we'll take everything you have. Your friends, your treasure, all of it will be ours. You guys have poneglyphs too, don't you? I can't wait to get my hands on them. Then at the very end, it shows a close-up of Kaido's face saying, the victor of this battle will take a massive step towards becoming the Pirate King. And then it shows Luffy in his Gear 4th form, close up on his face, just angry about to clash with Kaido. Now I think that end is really menacing because if Kaido is actually speaking the truth, and this is foreshadowing, and he does defeat them, I believe that they will take Nico Robin, they will take their crews, and something big will happen in that sense. Maybe the Supernova will win the day and free Wano from Kaido, but what if Kaido and Big Mom leave with all their crews, all their treasure, all that he said, leaving all of them to chase after them to try to beat them? But I have no idea what's going to happen. This war is just going to spill out to the rest of the world. I can't wait to see who else shows up, if anyone else shows up, or if this is actually the end of the battle, and once this battle's over, it determines everything. Thank you all so much for tuning into my channel. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this chapter, how you think it's going to turn out in the future, and remember to be kind to others. See ya.